Bitcoin? Who was the first to believe in me? I sent out a message in October 2008 on an old mailing list. No one replied. No one asked. Not a single curious glance. Just one person, and only one, spoke up. Finney. At first I thought, he's just being polite. But then he emailed again and again. His questions weren't those of an outsider. He was truly understanding, or had thought about this even before I did. Hal was one of the pioneers of using cryptography to protect freedom on the internet. A member of the Cypherpunk movement, those who believe that in a world under surveillance, encryption is a form of resistance. The developer of Reusable Proof of Work, a man who believed in using technology to protect individual rights. And he replied, the quietest of all, the most consistent of all. I find this system fascinating. I'll try to study it. I still don't know where Hal was, just that he used the email, Finney. We emailed back and forth many times. None of the messages was signed. I didn't know who was young, who was old. I just knew he believed. He asked many questions, very detailed ones. He understood decentralized logic. He questioned double spending. He even found bugs in the code. He debugged with me. Not for money, not for fame, but because he, like me, longed for a system no one could control. Hal was the first to run Bitcoin. On January 10, 2009, when Bitcoin version 0.1 was uploaded to SourceForge, Hal downloaded it, ran a node. He became the second node in the world. Block 22 wasn't mined by me, it was by someone who joined in. I looked into the log. Hal's IP was there. That night, 2 computers lit up, one in Japan, or maybe not, one in California. The first 2 nodes, a network began to live. He was typing commands, tweaking the bitcoin.conf file, testing a new toy. I smiled. The first Bitcoin transaction in history. The first transaction between 2 people. I sent Hal 10 BTC, block 170, January 12th, 2009. We tested the transaction. He reported received. I checked the Block Explorer, just a log file back then. Done. No one witnessed it, but that was the first transaction of a currency without intermediaries. In those early days, no one knew what Bitcoin was. Blocks went unmined. The network was weak. Clients kept crashing. We exchanged emails, fixed code, and kept asking, could this story really work? Hal was the only one who kept emailing weekly. He never asked who I was. Only, how's the progress? Sometimes he'd share code snippets he had refined. Maybe a fix for block synchronization bugs. Maybe a suggestion on the interface mechanism. Sometimes just a short message. Keep going. I'm still watching. We discussed difficulty adjustment mechanisms, how to incentivize node operation, and how to prevent block spam. Once, Hal wrote, if one day this system has 100 real users, I'll consider it a success. I laughed reading that. Back then, we had just 2. A few years later, Hal was diagnosed with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. His body weakened, he could no longer walk. Then he couldn't speak, but he still coded, still emailed. By then, Bitcoin was starting to gain attention, and when WikiLeaks wanted to use Bitcoin, I panicked. I told Hal, "It's not time yet." He replied, "I believe in how we started." Hal passed away in 2014. He had his body cryopreserved, hoping to return one day. I think Bitcoin was an impossibility, something people would mock, but Hal believed. And he never once asked me, "Who are you?" Tat First Trust was the oldest Bitcoin wallet in history, was the first transaction in the blockchain, was data no node can ever erase. Because in a world full of doubt, Hal was the first to believe in me. Hal Finney was born on May 4th, 1956. He was a brilliant programmer, one of the pioneers in cryptography. Before encountering Bitcoin, Hal worked at PGP Corporation, developers of the world's most famous encryption software. Pretty good privacy. He had created video games for Atari, contributed code to many cryptographic projects, and was one of the earliest cypherpunks who understood. Freedom only exists when information is encrypted. Who are the cypherpunks? They are people who believe that in a world under surveillance, encryption is a form of resistance. The cypherpunk movement began in the late 1980s and the early 1990s, consisting of programmers, computer scientists, and hackers like Timothy C. May, Eric Hughes, Julian Assange. They didn't protest in the streets. They didn't petition governments. They wrote code. They built systems like PGP, anonymous remailers, and experimental digital currencies like eCash, B-Money. They believed privacy is not something you ask permission for. It is something you encrypt. When Bitcoin appeared, Hal didn't just see software. He saw a manifesto, a decentralized system of justice owned by no one, controlled by no one.